Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. We are bots. We are bots. Goodness gracious, man. This might be one of, if not the worst Smackdown episode ever. And I've said that at least 10 times on this channel. And guess what? This is going to be the 11th. Because this was absolute and utter glazing garbage. Everything inside of this episode is all based off of glaze. And I love you. Randy Orton said the literal words, I respect you, I love you, I'm proud of you, I appreciate you, to Cody Rhodes. How many times on this channel have I said, these wrestlers now, all they do is go out there, starting with Cody Rhodes, all they do is go out there and literally just say, I respect you, I love you, I appreciate you, I like you. Rhea Ripley said it to Io Sky. Io Sky said it to Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair said it to Io Sky. Randy Orton said it to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has said it to everybody. It's the same stuff. And people have the audacity to go in comment sections or go anywhere and be like, oh no, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You're hating, man. You're hating, dude. What are you talking about, bro? Well, look at it in front of your face. Randy Orton is saying word for word, verbatim, what I've been saying for months. All these wrestlers say the same things, and you wonder why these promos suck, because everyone says the same stuff. You know, it's embarrassing. Cody Rhodes gets glazed to the maximum. They protect this dude with everything they have. It's embarrassing. What WWE champion gets protected like this? Even when Roman was getting super pushed, when he was the big dog, was anybody going on the mic? Was John Cena on the mic with him talking about you're amazing, man. You've carried this company, man. You're amazing. You're lovely. You're awesome, dude. You're awesome sauce, bro. Have a great day. Shut up. You know? It's embarrassing at this point. CM Punk's main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania and crying about it. You know that? Like, congratulations to the guy, Phil Brooks, behind the character. But come on, man. Phil Brooks, or CM Punk, is main eventing night 1. It's night 1. That's not even a real main event. Unless you're main eventing night 2, you're not really main eventing. Let's be honest with ourselves. You know, the main event of Mania 40 is not going to be looked back at as Roman and Rock versus Cody and Seth. The main event is Roman versus Cody night 2. That's what we're going to remember. It's the same thing with WrestleMania 39. Nobody remembers the main event of WrestleMania 39 as Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, or Sami Zayn and KO versus Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. Come on, man. Get real with yourself. You know, the Mania 38 main event. Yeah, bro, it's KO versus Stone Cold. Stop. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get in this video, man. I have no idea what's happening at this point. What is this garbage? This Mania 41 season is dead. It's so dead. It's so dry. It's so cooked. It's burnt, you know? So get ready for this absolute rant. Now, first off, we have to talk about this garbage segment with Cody Rhodes. Now, I just want to mark this down. It took until 8:15 p.m. Eastern time for words to actually be said that actually were in a contingent sentence or two. Other than that, before that, it took 9 minutes for Cody to utter a word, and all he said is that in 3 weeks, I fight John Cena. And everyone just chanted, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, we are bots, we do what we're told, we fans have no idea what we're talking about, so we just keep glazing Triple H until he books it into oblivion like he's doing in Mania 41! Goodness gracious, man. These fans are bots. I'm so tired of this garbage. These guys are sitting here cheering for Cody Rhodes, who has 7 title defenses in 1 year. He hasn't done anything. And he's getting popped like he's wrestled 50 matches and like he's cut 15 great promos. What are they cheering for? You know? It's just embarrassing at this point. It's so ridiculous. It's embarrassing to be a fan of WWE. It truly is. It really is at this point. The only reason, right, that this company has any modicum of excitement still is because of leeching off of, older wrestlers, right, like John Cena or The Rock, you know what I'm saying, or even their, the 1 or 2 newer wrestlers they've developed over the last 10 to 15 years that actually became great, like Roman or like Seth, you know, or even on Punk, who's on the back end of that. You get what I'm saying? That's all they have. Nothing new has been developed in the last year. No new star has up and come and have been amazing to the point where they're actually like the draw of the company. It doesn't happen like that anymore. But anyways, back to what I was saying. 15 minutes before we actually get legitimate statements being said, where Randy Orton comes out and basically just glazes Cody Rhodes. This was the Cody Rhodes glaze ceremony, was the opening segment of the night. It was a bunch of compliments, and that's all it was. Randy Orton comes out and literally just talks about how great Cody Rhodes is and how proud of him he is, and he literally says the words I've been saying for months. He tells Cody Rhodes, I love you, Cody. I need you, Cody. I respect the hell out of you, Cody. I respect you, Cody. I'm so proud of you, Cody. I'm like, are you kidding me?
This is what it's come to? And he proceeds to lie. He's like, well, Cody, this big boom period, the company's the best it's ever been. The big boom, the ticket sales, the sellouts, all this stuff is all on the back of you, Cody. And again, I said this in a video a few days ago. Cody Rhodes is a protected jobber. They make up lies and narratives to make this dude look good. And everyone who he's in the ring with who's better than him in terms of like their legendary status or just the fact that they're just better performers in general, they have to snoop down to his level and compliment him to the point where you can't even, it's just unbelievable glaze. He tells Cody Rhodes, he's like, remember when you beat Seth Rollins with a torn pec at Hell in a Cell? Randy Orton says word for word, 99% of the quote-unquote big boom is on your back, Cody. You've done this. This is ridiculous. And he tells Cody Rhodes, the most ridiculous statement of the night, he tells Cody Rhodes that Cody Rhodes has far surpassed anything that Randy Orton has done in his career. And he says that Cody Rhodes is his equal, and he loves him, and he's proud of Cody. This is embarrassing. Randy Orton is a 14-time WWE champion. You understand? A 14-time world champion. And this dude's beaten John Cena. He's beaten much better competitors. He's beaten people like that. And somehow Cody Rhodes has far surpassed him because Cody Rhodes in 20 years in the industry was Stardust and was Randy Orton's lackey and jobber in legacy. And now he's a one-time world champion. And now he's surpassed anything Orton's ever done. This is embarrassing. The lies are right in front of your face. I said Cody was a protected jobber, and look how he's treated. I said all they say is I love you, I respect you. Look what's happening. I said that Mania 41's bill was going to be bad and this PLE could potentially be horrible, and look how it's going. You understand? This is embarrassing, man. Let's move on to the rest of this segment. Basically, what's it called? After Randy Orton talks and does all that glazing, Drew McIntyre comes out and says Randy Orton has done nothing since his comeback at Survivor Series a couple years ago, which is absolute facts. He says that Randy Orton needs to get in the back of the line, sunshine, and watch as Drew McIntyre gets his rightful shot at going for the WWE Championship. He takes a pot shot at Damian Priest, and that's pretty much the end of this. This sets up a little segment where Randy Orton's about to RKO Drew. Drew pushes him off, and basically that sets up Randy Orton versus Drew later in the night. But this first segment was atrocious, full of lies, garbage, and nonsensical nightmares of trash. Cody Rhodes is 3 weeks out from Mania, and all he has on the mic is to utter the words, I will fight John Cena in 3 weeks. That's all he has to say. And you mean to tell me that this is the best era of WWE? You guys are these fans are delusional. I don't like to call it the fans, but they're delusional. They're delusional. They're the reason we're in this position. I want you guys to understand that. The fans that sat there and glazed Cody Rhodes' championship reign and complimented Triple H to the day's end and just glazed every single thing that was coming their way, had no original thought, didn't critique anything, that is the reason we are where we're at right now. I want you to understand that and just accept it. Just accept it, because it's facts. We're seeing it in front of our faces. The fans ate it up, and Triple H had no idea what he was doing the whole time, but The Rock and Roman came in and had a great Mania build last year with Cody and Seth, and it got everyone fooled and bamboozled. And now you're in a situation where apparently business is the best it's ever been. The viewership has dropped millions. They've lost like 3 million views in 2 months on Netflix on Raw. You know, they haven't, last year at this time, they had like 30 plus live event, Raw, Smackdown, plus PLE sellouts in the entire year at this point last year. And now they only have, maybe 4 or 5? And we're 3 months in? This is embarrassing. It's the worst Mania build ever, but we're told it's great. These fans are just delusional, man, and they believe all these lies. It's really sad, but this is what happens when you succumb to the bad narratives that are being lied to in your face, you know? But anyways, then we get to the next thing, which was Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. This match was pretty much forgettable. It was a decent match, don't get me wrong, but no one's going to be talking about this now that the show is over. Let's be real here, okay? The Street Profits retain the titles, and no one actually comes out and interrupts at all. The Street Profits' theme is still horrible, in my opinion, and they need to be changed. You know, they need to change that immediately. However, we're in a point now where the Street Profits are champs, and I'm okay with that. They do good in the ring. They need to go back to the old theme song, but this is what it is. Couple good spots here, couple creative spots. Athleticism was shown by both of these competitors, both of these teams, I should say, and it was a solid, entertaining match for what it was. I don't know what's going to happen with the tag team division heading into Mania, but you got what you got, and that's it. Then we get a bunch of random segments to set up future matches. Whenever you head into a Smackdown or a Raw, and they only have like 3 or 4 confirmed segments for the show, and then nothing else is confirmed, but the show is still 3 hours, the reason why is because there's going to be a bunch of random segments backstage that are going to set up nobody matches that no one cares about, okay? So one of those backstage segments was a segment between, Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis, and they were basically going at Zelina Vega backstage with Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. They haven't been seen in months, but they're here now, and they have a tag match versus Piper Niven and Alba Fire. This match is garbage and forgettable, and for some odd reason, Zelina Vega was talking all that trash backstage, but then lets the Secret Hervis go out there and basically beat up Katana and Kaden Carter. And that's pretty much that. Zelina Vega then goes out and tries to fight back afterwards and gets beat down to a pulp, and so we can move on from this. Zelina Vega's new theme is horrendous, and Chelsea Green is literally the only over woman in this mid-card. In the mid-card division as a whole, she's the only over woman. She's the only over woman on the entirety of SmackDown besides, I guess, Charlotte and Tiffany. That's it. So I don't even know where Nia Jax is. I don't know where anybody is. Nobody knows who these people are. It's over. The women's mid-card is garbage, and the U.S. Championship for the women's division, and same with the IC belt, have been a failure and a disaster. Both IC reign and the U.S. title reign suck in the women's division, and they need to be taken more seriously. Same with the men's, too. They both are just garbage. Then we get to LA Knight versus Braun Strowman for the U.S. belt. We don't even have to talk about this match, because we knew it was going to end in an interference from someone in the Bloodline. We already knew this was going to happen, and so it happened to be Jacob Fatu tonight, and basically he beat up LA Knight and beat up Braun Strowman, and he basically is doing this all to allude to the fact that he will be going for the U.S. Championship at WrestleMania, and he'll be trying to take it from LA Knight or Braun Strowman, which he likely will win that match if that becomes a thing for Mania. We then get a backstage promo where we're continuing to tease this Solo and Jacob Fatu narrative, right? Where Solo Sikoa at this point and Jacob Fatu just can't get along. It's so tired. It's so stupid. The long-term booking. Triple H is the long gamer. He sees the stories before we do. He's cooking. Let Papa H cook. Yeah, well, now he's cooking up a garbage meal that nobody's eating. So how about that? It's just garbage. These segments are trash. None of these matches mean anything. We're 3 weeks from Mania, and we're getting LA Knight versus Braun Strowman in a nothing burger U.S. title match. Come on. Is there nothing better we can do than this? This is so sad. What is this? This is garbage. Nobody cares about any of this stuff. Jacob Fatu and Solo's little tension has been teased for months, and nothing's come from it. It's time to stop. It's time to realize when a storyline isn't working, you need to scrap it, throw it out, and just go forward with Jacob Fatu winning the U.S. belt or LA Knight retaining and just move on with this. Nobody wants to see Solo and Jacob Fatu in any way, shape, or form. It's not going to work. It's over. Jacob Fatu has clearly proven to be better than Solo at basically everything, and he's way more over with the crowd, so it's time to move forward. Then we have Naomi and Jade Cargill. Obviously, normally, but 3 weeks before a Mania, you would actually get a build on the mic and an actual story and a promo segment between the two competitors, but we're just going to get Naomi in a video segment where she's complaining about, Jade or how Bianca basically turned on her, and Naomi's been the model of consistency, and she's been supporting and inspiring Bianca for years, but she's sold out for Jade Cargill. And this was actually a pretty decent video segment, if I don't say so myself. This is one of two or three decent segments the entire night, I'd say, or 2 or 3 decent, moments of the entire night, I would say. And then basically after this video segment plays, we get a Michin and B-Fab are walking out, and they get attacked by Naomi. Again, Michin does nothing. B-Fab does nothing. We then see Naomi beat the crap out of them all, and then all of a sudden Jade Cargill comes out, and then Naomi just runs off. She just runs off. She's like, proceed with caution. Then Jade comes down to try and fight back against Naomi, and Naomi just runs away. What does this builder improve for Mania? Nothing. Thank you. Now let's get on to the Charlotte Flair versus Michin match. Charlotte Flair versus Michin was a mid-match. Charlotte doesn't look confident in her knee still, and quite frankly, I don't think that she is confident in her knee, and she does look slower and a little bit more choppy in the ring. And the fact that we have this match in 3 weeks between her and Tiffany, and Charlotte Flair probably isn't going to be wrestling at all until that Mania match, is probably not a good sign. And then after this match, when Charlotte makes Michin tap out with the figure 4, Tiffany Stratton goes on the mic in a little interview segment with Jackie Redmond, because again, we're 3 weeks before Mania in a WWE Women's Championship match, and so instead of having the two competitors go out there and cut a promo in the ring together, because we know Tiffany would get destroyed like she did last week on SmackDown with Charlotte in that interview, Tiffany goes backstage and proceeds to say absolutely nothing. Nothing. She's like, oh, well, if Charlotte loses, the pressure's on her because she's losing to a rookie. But if I win, I get cool because I look cool because I beat Charlotte Flair. No one cares. Tiffany Stratton embarrassed herself last week in that segment, and all of a sudden, she comes back the following week and has no improvement. This is why this roster continues to suck and why your younger talent never flourishes. The younger talent gets put in positions where, they'll win a belt here because they're booked to do that. But with their actual talent and merits of athleticism or skill on the mic or storytelling abilities or entrance, they don't get over on that anymore. We know this. Tiffany has a chant and that's it. In the ring, she's like slightly above average, and on the mic, she's horrendous. But somehow she's a WWE champion. These talent look at their mistakes and do nothing to improve. It's the same thing with Cody. Why do you think Cody's been cutting the same promo for a year? Because he has no need to improve, because the fans are glazing it, they're loving it allegedly, and Triple H keeps booking it like that, so nobody cares. Cody doesn't need to wrestle because the fans are going to cheer him and cheer for him regardless. Tiffany doesn't need to improve on the mic because the fans are going to cheer for her regardless. Rhea Ripley doesn't have to improve anything on the mic. She hasn't been improving on the mic at all now for years, and she's still going to be the most over woman in the division. It's absolutely embarrassing. None of these talent have to work for anything, and none of these dudes have to actually do anything to improve themselves. And that's why Tiffany's continues to suck on the mic, Rhea continues to suck on the mic, and so on and so forth. No one improves themselves because they're not required to. Triple H isn't demanding them to get any better. The fans aren't demanding anything better because they haven't witnessed any better. You know, they probably started watching wrestling in like 2018. You got to say that these are like 12-year-olds trying to tell Triple H how to book, and he does it, you know, sometimes, and makes these jobbers champs. So it is what it is. Then we have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. This is a pretty decent match, all right? I don't really remember much of what happened because I was half asleep, but, you know, this match was decent for what I saw. Pretty run-of-the-mill Orton and Drew stuff. It was like around decent, I guess you could say. Obviously, this ended in an interference. KO comes out and distracts Orton. Orton gets Claymore. Drew McIntyre wins. Afterwards, KO looks around like he's stalking his prey, grabs Randy Orton's leg, and then tries to hit a pile driver on the table, and then Randy counters out of it. KO runs away. That's it. Another brawl segment that ends in someone running away or getting held back by security. It's the same thing. Goodness gracious, man. It is embarrassing. What is happening anymore? What is happening? Seriously, I can't. It is so sad to be a WWE fan. It really is, man. This is really embarrassing. It truly is. I have no other word to describe it. Shameful. You know what I'm saying? Lackluster. Stupid. Ridiculous. What other words can be used to describe this nonsense, you know? Then we get Miz versus Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso actually cut a good promo backstage earlier, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, he was just talking to Carmelo Hayes and Miz actually cut a good promo in that backstage segment too, but that's expected, you know? Miz and Jimmy on the mic, they're both pretty solid on the mic, so that's what you need. They come out in the ring, wrestle a nothing burger match. Jimmy Uso obviously gets the W and then talks about how he's going to see Gunther on Monday, and that's the end of that. Then after this, we get a backstage segment where Drew and Damian are basically brawling backstage. They're upset with each other, obviously. The way they shot this was actually pretty cool. Damian Priest was like hiding outside, and then Drew opens the door feeling in a good mood after pinning Randy Orton and stuff like that. And then he opens the door to leave, and then Damian's just standing right there, beats the crap out of him, and then choke slams him on the window through a car. So, on the window of a car, I should say. So, that was pretty cool. This is one of Damian's better segments, and it actually established him as somewhat of a savage. You know what I'm saying? A big dog, right? When they say, you know, all rise for the outlaw and the punishment and the street king, all these stupid names, this actually made him feel like somewhat of a threat. Holy crap, if you mess with this dude, you know, it's like, holy crap, this dude will take you outside and slam you through a car. You know what I'm saying? And he'll yell at you while he's doing it. Like, this is legitimate. This is the best Damian Priest has looked in months in terms of his character. This is the best it's been in months. So they do get some points for that. This was definitely one of my favorite, but this probably was my favorite part of the night, actually, was this little beatdown brawl. Other than what Roman Reigns proceeds to do on the mic a little later, that was pretty much it. This and then what else? Probably like the Naomi little video segment thing, and that was pretty much it. You know, those and then the Roman Reigns stuff that he says on the mic, that's all that was anywhere notable or decent about this show, besides the Street Profits match. So they had like 3 or 4 decent things, and everything else was absolute bottom of the barrel trash. Then we get to the contract signing with Roman, Seth, and Punk. This contract signing was pretty, I don't really know how to describe this. I'd say it was pretty, bad. That's what it was. It was bad. You know, Roman Reigns comes out there first because he's obviously, this is one thing that needs to be understood after this segment tonight. Roman Reigns is clearly the alpha in this situation. You understand? Seth Rollins and CM Punk are not main eventing a dang thing at WrestleMania if this match does not include Roman Reigns. Let's just get that straight clear off the bat. If Seth and Punk are in a Mania Night 1 main event, you know dang well that it's because there's a third person or someone else involved that's bigger than them. And that's exactly the situation with this. Let's just set that up straight. Roman mentions this later in the promo, okay? Roman basically decides to talk a bunch of facts. Before he even gets a chance to speak, the crowd's just a bunch of chanting bots. You know, Roman Reigns, OTC, Roman Reigns, glaze, glazing, glazy glaze. That's all it is. You know, but then Roman finally gets on the mic after being pampered to for like 10 minutes straight. And what doesn't make any sense, too, before we get to the end of the segment, somehow this segment ended, right? I just want to mention this real quick. It ended, okay? And the situation was that they cut to black because I guess they ran out of time or whatever happened. How do you run out of time on a 3-hour show? Cut a couple minutes from the meaningless Miz versus Jimmy match. Cut a couple minutes from the meaningless Chelsea Green Secret Harvest segment with Zelina Vega, and maybe you'd actually have a couple, like 5 to 10 more minutes to add on, so you wouldn't have to run overtime and do all these stupid fades to black and commercial garbage. But anyways, let's get back into the segment. We then have Roman Reigns go on the mic, and he actually says, I have a couple obligations here. One is to be acknowledged. One of them is to sign this contract, and now my business is done. And before he can even finish saying that sentence, Seth Rollins' music hits. Rollins then comes out, and he basically says, Roman, I don't know why you're trying to leave this early. We have a contract to sign. We have business to handle. And we came in here. This is our classic moment in London when we came here. We powerbombed The Undertaker. We set the stage for what we wanted to mold the industry into over the next decade, and we would be running this place for years to come. And we set up the vision that we want. He keeps saying we. And then this is where Roman actually starts to cook. Roman Reigns gets on the mic. He's like, we. What you saying we for? We didn't do this. I did this. We split up a long time ago, but I stood here. I carried this business. I carry this company. The reason we have the Netflix deal is because of me. The reason we shot to new heights is because of me. All the new impact, interest, whatever the heck, the, the growth of the business compared to what it was like in the late 2010s. All that stuff is because of me. I'm the tribal chief. I carried this company for the last, however many years. And that's absolute facts. That's how you cut a promo. You understand? That's how you actually stick up for yourself. You don't go out there and tell your opponent how great they are. You be honest. Roman has been carrying this company for years now. And no matter who they try and put as the head of the company, whoever they put the belt on, whatever, Roman is going to be the top draw and the biggest star and the best star in the entire company until he's retired. It's as simple as that. He has a chokehold on the company, and it's really that. It's that simple. We have to move on and acknowledge this. Seth Rollins then says, I'm tired of you because I'm stuck here trying to clean up the mess that you created. You shouldn't have been shaking hands with CM Punk, at War Games. You should have beat the crap out of him and not letting this issue get out of hand, which has some merit to it. But again, Seth Rollins is forced in this feud just like Roman Reigns is forced in this feud, and just like CM Punk is forced in this feud. This triple threat should never be happening. So what Rollins says kind of holds no weight to an extent, except for the fact that Roman and Punk shouldn't have been teaming up at War Games. That was a good line from Rollins, and it's absolutely true. But the fact that, again, Roman's the only one who actually just came out here and was just talking trash. I like old school promos where you just go out and talk trash to your opponent, talk trash about them, and say that you're going to win. That's what a good promo, the basis of a good promo should be centered around those things, and obviously your delivery of it. But anyways, then we get CM Punk. He gets the CM Punk, we are bots, robot responses. That's what we get. So the CM Punk then comes out. CM Punk basically, he says that I'm here to chew bubblegum and sign a contract, spits the gum out and says I'm all out of bubblegum. He then proceeds to scroll through the contract looking for something, and Roman Reigns makes the joke. Roman Reigns was laughing a lot and making a ton of jokes in this segment. It was pretty funny and entertaining, if I don't say so myself. But when you have Roman, Punk, and Rollins in the ring, it's kind of expected that the top guy and the best dude is going to be Roman. Let's be real with ourselves. No glaze or anything like they were glazing all night, but Roman is just on a different level than these dudes. It just is what it is. I don't even know why we're even in the ring together. Roman's laughing at these dudes because it's like we're crying because CM Punk has a Mania Night 1 main event. It's like, dude, are you serious? Roman Reigns has main evented 8 WrestleManias now, or 9? And we're crying because of one main event. It's not even the real main event. I think since Mania went to 2 nights, Roman has main evented every WrestleMania besides WrestleMania 36. 37 he main evented, 38 he main evented, 39 he main evented, 40 he main evented both nights, and now he's going to main event night 1 of Mania 41. So it's like, and then he main evented WrestleMania 31, 32, 33, I believe. Yeah, 34 as well. It gets to a point. You get what I'm saying? It really does get to a point. Outside of the 2 years he couldn't be there due to sickness and, the leukemia situation, all that other stuff, in COVID, obviously, all that. Other than that, Roman Reigns has main evented every WrestleMania that he's been involved in. So I don't understand. It just is what it is. So then we get to CM Punk's part of the segment where Paul Heyman gets over to CM Punk. They hold their heads in close, and Paul Heyman's like, I know what you're looking for, and on the page you're gonna find it. And then he basically reveals that CM Punk will be main eventing WrestleMania. They say it like that, but obviously it's gonna be a night 1 main event. We already know this, okay? Now the problem with this whole segment is, look, congratulations to Phil Brooks, the actual person for main eventing WrestleMania. CM Punk was crying during this and emotional, understandably so, I guess, for him. But in actual storyline wise, nobody should be feeling bad for CM Punk. He left for a decade, came back, and the only reason he's main eventing not night 2, main eventing night 1, you understand? The only reason he's main eventing night 1 is because the other competition to main event night 1 was nothing. Who else was going to main event night 1 if they didn't? Jay and Gunter? I mean, what, Charlotte and Tiffany, which has been an awful build and an awful story? Rhea versus Bianca versus Io? That's what would have main evented night 1 in place, you know? Because the night 2 main event is going to obviously be Cena and Cody, but this is just embarrassing at this point. You know, we're crying for this is just insane. Fans saying, you deserve it, all this stuff. It's like, it gets to a point, you know? It's not that CM Punk wasn't good enough. Well, I mean, it is kind of like that. The reason he wasn't main eventing when he was in, WWE before, years before, is because he just wasn't better than the people main eventing. He's not better than John Cena or The Rock or Undertaker or any of these people. Come on, man. You know this. It's nothing personal. It's just business. Am I going to get a match with Cena and Rock that's going to make me tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions potentially? Or am I going to get a match with CM Punk and John Cena? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same. CM Punk is just not the guy that Rock and Cena, he's not the performer that Rock and Cena was, and it's as simple as that. That's why he wasn't main eventing. CM Punk then says, yes, I appreciate that, Paul. And then Roman Reigns gets back on the mic and says, hey, I want you to acknowledge me because the only reason you're main eventing tonight is because of me. So thank your tribal chief and acknowledge me. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns is clearly being the alpha here. And then CM Punk sits down on one knee and says, thank you, my tribal chief, my head of the table, my big dog, which was a pretty funny line. And Roman laughs at that. And then CM Punk says, yes, and I appreciate you, wise man, but you know that that's not the favor I asked. So now Punk is going to main event night 1, and there's another special favor, which will either be CM Punk getting Roman Reigns getting turned on by Paul Heyman, or it'll be something else. I don't really care at this point. This feud is nothing. Roman and Punk were just shaking hands 4 or 5 months ago. They're laughing together now. And now all of a sudden, we're in a situation where they're going to be feuding at Mania. While Seth is just off in the corner. He's the one who has the vendetta versus both of them. And he feels like a third fiddle in this feud. It's not a good feud because you're splitting your audience up. You have all 3 of them are faces as well. And there's nothing on the line as far as we know. It's a nonsensical plot hole filled feud with a bunch of inconsistencies. But hey, CM Punk, whoa. Roman Reigns, OTC. The fans are going to chant for it regardless, and therefore there you have it, okay? So at the end of the day, we have to sit here and we have to watch this garbage, but quite frankly, this is one of the worst Smackdowns of all time, and it was an absolute disaster. It gets a 3 out of 10. Roman did good on the mic. Damian Priest looked pretty good in his segment, okay? He did a good job with that segment, and then obviously Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly was okay, and then that was pretty much all there was to talk about here. Everything else that you can think of that was discussed was garbage for obvious reasons. 3 out of 10 episodes. Knock yourselves out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a phenomenal day and peace out. One love.